Continuing here, finish my sentence that no monkey business, no manipulating markets because we're watching. That's the Federal Labor Department I'm talking about, who's supposed to be looking after the interests of the low end workers, the minimum wage workers, our most valuable resource, our most valuable asset as a nation, as any nation. Okay, because nothing gets done without them. Nothing. Look around your house right now. See all that stuff. You think a lot of that stuff wasn't made by low end workers? And you think you're going to stand before your owner someday and say that this was okay, that I cheated them. I said, well, they're not worthy of a living wage because they're unskilled or, little skill or uneducated or very little education. So, not everybody can get a fair shake. Is that what you're going to stand by? You're going to justify that on Judgment Day? You're going to say that's okay that you had that attitude toward your fellow human being? But yet that's the attitude that's running the American system, the American government, the American economic system. That mentality that this is okay, that we got to cheat somebody, right? And people don't talk about this stuff, but everybody knows. Everybody's thinking it. Everybody, well, wait a minute, that would cause inflation, wouldn't it? If everybody got what I get paid. So, you understand? So, God's after the essence inside you. He's after what's in the marrow of your heart and your soul and your spirit and your mind. Who are we as individuals? Who are you? Okay, that's what he wants to know. Where is your substance? Where are your values? Do you know, are they the same as mine or are they different? Because justice is paramount to God. It's obvious. He's into justness, fairness, okay, just scales. And we don't have that as a society. We're a fallen nation. America is a fallen nation. And I'm as patriotic as they get. I mean, I had to be born in America. A guy like me, with a big mouth, I mean, I'd be a defector. If I was born somewhere where I didn't have free speech, man, because I wasn't speaking out against a ruler. I was just saying, hey, look, you know what? You're being controlled by, you don't even know. But you're not going to find happiness by being some despot, ruler, authoritarian type. No way. You'll never find true happiness. So I could speak as a friend to the Emperor of China or North Korea or wherever in the hell it was. Okay, I might speak my mind. A guy like me might, because I'm nobody's enemy. I'm not a threat to anybody. I'm trying to emulate Christ. Was he a threat to anybody? No, but he was perceived at it. He was hated. See, and that's all of us. That's all the righteous. If you're just trying to be a decent, upright human being, enjoy your stinking little life, okay, and be nicer and nicer and say, you know what? I'm a live and let live guy. I just, I believe in forgiveness, so I'm asking for forgiveness. You don't have to forgive me, but I'd be nice because, who needs enemies? Who needs somebody holding a resentment against us? I don't. Life's hard enough without that crap. So I don't want to be a threat to anybody, but if I am, just by default position, because I'm telling the evil men that, you know what, you can't continue to be evil in perpetuity, And people can wonder how I digress the way I do. I don't know. It's the way my mind works. But you see, I'm still on the point. I mean, people got to understand the gravity. You think it's just a small thing, this federal minimum wage, what I'm talking about here? This could have acted as a very powerful check and balance that would have prevented what's happened. It would have prevented the fall of America through currency debasement, deworthment, dilution, however you want to see it. It's the same. It's when you've got a cost of living that's raising unnaturally because people are manipulating markets, and you don't have the Federal Labor Department looking after the interests of minimum wage workers to say, hey, we established this standard of living. You willing to do this much work? This is how much you're going to get. You're going to live this X life. But no, it's been slowly turning. It went, down and down and down and down and down. Gradually over a long period of time, that cooking of the frogs in the water. And we're cooked. We're done. So all that's left now is for them to devour us. I mean, they've got nothing up their sleeves. they're out of control. It's just like being stuck on a freaking bus, like I pointed out before as an analogy, with some psychotic, demon possessed bus driver drunk on the blood of saints and drinking more and more blood and getting more and more stoned, driving down the expressway. And you see the fog bank up ahead, and you, wait a minute, driver, can you slow down? And he just laughs at you. Don't be negative. Don't be negative. Don't be an alarmist, he tells you. With certainty that the other passengers take solace in. They say, oh, yeah, just listen. Just hey, shut up. Sit down and shut up. Listen to the bus driver. But he's taking you into that fog bank that you see. I've heard stories. This can't end well. That's what I'm seeing. What's going to happen? It's getting thicker. The traffic. I see taillights. What's he doing? What's he doing? I'm that guy. Sure, I'm passionate, but I also ham it up for the camera. In fact, if Hollywood wants to hire me, I think I'd be a pretty good actor, right? But no, that's how I feel about it, friends. That's what it's like. That's where we're at. We're way down this demonic rabbit hole toward hell, and it's the only thing that's going to extricate us is the amazing grace of God, the very finger, the hand of God, and we've got to be repentant. We've got to confess. We've got to admit where we failed and displeased God and how he's not going to let us have happiness. Rather, we're going to just get his wrath more and more and more until we repent as a nation and come together, realizing that this is not what the demons want. It's going to piss them off. There's going to be ramifications, going to be implications. There's going to be a price to pay. But the other choice is cowardice and certain destruction. So it doesn't matter who's right and wrong. I'm not an I told you so kind of guy. I'm not a gloating kind of fellow. Okay, I just want to be a friend and a brother. I want to like myself. I want others to like me. I wish everybody liked me and loved me. I'm an egalitarian. I don't know why they wouldn't. But you know what? I know that I don't feel that love. I mean, from the system. I mean, it's just, what do you think Christ felt? I mean, you're up against a juggernaut of pure evil genius who've got the masses. They've got them in a spell, and they want to keep you there, like the passengers on the bus I talked about. You're listening to the bus driver. You can't. Who is the bus driver? Ask your spirit of truth. Ask God. Get on your knees and pray. You'll get the same information I'm getting. We have equal access to it. We're equally beloved. We're human beings. We're very special. We're little gods because we're children of God. Okay, so by extension, we're like little gods. Very special creatures, not like any other creature on the face of the earth. We all know that our intellect by far and away exceeds all the combined intellect of every other creature on the face of the earth. No matter how smart they are, we know that's true. That we blow them all out of the water intellectually. That's because we have the very intellect of God. So we're all without excuse for not understanding this stuff. Just by logic and just by honesty and saying, okay, wait a minute, I could come out of this darkness, out of this confusion, Babylon. I come out of Babylon, okay, and ignorance and stupidity, willful stupidity and willful cognitive dissonance. I mean, delusion could be good in some way. I mean, if it's healthy, let's say somebody of faith, some atheist says, well, they're just delusional. Their God is just made up. It's fictional. So these are deluded, crazy people. Hey, if it's good for your health, you live longer, like the statistics show. That's a good delusion. That's good cognitive dissonance. But the other kind is just to ignore the reality of what your eyes see. You say, don't believe my lying eyes. When you see the bus careening down the highway and the driver, and he's just telling you, just don't listen to the negative guy. Listen to me. I'm the authority. I'm the bus driver. Sit down, comply, and shut up. Everything's going to be fine. Don't believe your lying eyes. Don't believe that clown. He's a nut. So, boom. And why do I care? I'm stuck on that same bus, that same ship of fools. And the captain at the wheel, same situation. Where is he leading us? Right into the storm. And we're not talking about a small storm. We're talking about mothers. I mean, these people don't have solutions. So I mean, the demons are going crazy because they're not as smart as God, so they don't know what to do at this point in history. It's getting really hard to start dubious war all of a sudden. You notice that? God's hand is in the mix. There's stuff going on an interstellar, cosmic, celestial level, stuff I don't know about. But I know it's happening. But I don't know the intricacies. Okay, I don't. So I'm not going to lie to anybody. But I really firmly believe. I'm not saying this because I want to believe it. I do believe it. I really do believe it. Delusional or not, I believe there's higher beings. The Bible's true. That Jesus was and is who he says he was and is. And it's all going to play out just like it's written. So literal or metaphor, it doesn't matter. The effects are the same. Like this, they say this is all like a simulation. Well, it's playing out. The hand of God's in the mix. So in that bus, just remember that's the solace you could take is in prayer. If you feel you can't overpower the bus driver or you're too cowardly, but at least you can speak out. You could do something. Okay, but just remember God's in the mix. So listen to that little still small voice inside that's whispering, telling you the truth. Listen, you ask, seek, and knock. You're diligent. You really show you care about knowing right from wrong, truth from fiction, lies. Okay, and proper values and the path to attaining true, genuine happiness, realizing that this altruism is also selfish, that we go together in this path of happiness as a race, as a species. We don't do it alone because we're connected scientifically through the principle of osmosis. That's it. You can't evade it. We're stuck with it, like being stuck on the bus. We're stuck because you feel it. Sure, you feel it closest to the epicenter. That's why the rich always like to exclude themselves in their gated communities up on hills and away from the hoarding masses, okay, the unwashed masses, the useless feeders. Separate themselves. Well, God's ultimately the one that does the separation. It turns out the meek, the righteous, are the ones that inherit the earth. It's not those that now it appears that all these wealthy people, big landowners and that they're the ones. No. I'm not saying just because you're rich you're going to hell. God knows your heart. I don't own anybody. I can't judge anyone to hell. All I know is what's written, that the things that are highly valued among men are detestable in the sight of God. And it's harder for a rich man to go to heaven than for a camel to fit through the eye of a needle. And Jesus told us to use worldly wealth to win friends for ourselves, or we're welcomed into eternal homes. And it goes on and on. Read for yourself. Don't listen to me. Don't listen to anybody. You got to read the scriptures for yourself. You make your own educated decision. Okay? But don't trust anybody. Your soul is far more important than that. Salvation, where you're found worthy and deserving of going from here, that's what I'm talking about, friends. It's your choice. You're deciding right now by having proper values, by at least caring to investigate it, to seek it out. Is it true? What should my values be? Should they be my fellow human being? Is this the path to genuine happiness, lasting, not only long-lasting, eternal lasting? Am I going to be found worthy and deserving of inheriting a better world? And what will that world look like, down to the smallest detail? Let me ask those questions of God. And let me just be honest enough to be receptive and say, yeah, that makes, all right, go along with that. Remember, God is like your perfect set of parents. But this thing called money, it can't be there. So, I mean, how many people do you hear talking like me? That's why I do this video series. People got to hear this stuff. It's nuts and bolts. It's just basics. I don't hear any preachers. What they do to you at seminary? Give you a lobotomy? For God's sake, the love of money is the root of not some of the evil, all of the evil. Just like the Constitution of the United States is supposed to represent not we some of the people, we all of the people. Okay? And we're way off track, my friends. That's what I mean. I got the fear of the Lord in my soul, and I want it there. That's reverence. That's respect. That's like, whoa, dude. oh, I see this, and now that I see it, it's like it's jarring, it's alarming. Yes, it is. It's traumatic. But you go, my God, we are a fallen nation. We are divided, and it's evil. Look what we're doing to the least of men. We call ourselves a Christian nation. For shame, the wrath of God, of course, it's hanging over us. What can be done about it? I'm telling you what can be done, my friends. Okay, is pleasing God. We haven't been pleasing God. You want true, genuine happiness? Then above all, seek to please God. This goes back to the two commandments that Christ gave us. Love God, honor God above all else with all our strength, heart, mind, spirit, and soul, and everything else we got. And then love one another as ourselves. Do those things, we'll please Him, we'll find genuine